It is not permissible to thread rigid nonmetallic conduit, commonly referred to as RNC. RNC is inherently designed as a non-threaded conduit system. National Electrical Code Table 358.10.1 makes reference to the manufacturer's installation instructions and Underwriters Laboratories Standard No. 6. These manufacturer instructions do not permit the threading of RNC. The rationale against threading RNC stems from the fundamental compromise it introduces to the conduit's structural integrity and its specified performance rating. The very act of threading removes material, thereby reducing the wall thickness of the conduit. This directly diminishes its capacity to withstand mechanical stresses, impacts, and environmental factors for which it was originally designed and certified. Firstly, the reduction in wall thickness compromises the conduit's mechanical strength. RNC is selected for applications based on its ability to resist physical damage. Threading introduces weak points, rendering the conduit more susceptible to cracking, splitting, or collapsing under stress. This is particularly problematic in environments where the conduit is exposed to heavy loads, impacts, or vibrations. Secondly, the process of threading alters the conduit's resistance to environmental factors. RNC is often chosen for its inherent resistance to corrosion, chemicals, and ultraviolet radiation. The threading process can disrupt the protective surface layer of the conduit, making it more vulnerable to degradation from these elements. This can lead to premature failure of the conduit and potential safety hazards. Thirdly, threading RNC violates the intended method of assembly and connection. RNC systems rely on specialized fittings and couplings that are designed to provide a secure and watertight seal without compromising the conduit's integrity. Threading introduces an incompatible element that disrupts this engineered system, potentially leading to loose connections, water ingress, and electrical faults. From a practical standpoint, attempting to thread RNC presents several challenges. The material is typically less rigid than metal conduits, making it difficult to achieve clean, consistent threads. The risk of damaging or deforming the conduit during threading is high, further compromising its integrity. In addition to the physical and mechanical concerns, threading RNC may also violate specific requirements outlined in the National Electrical Code and other relevant standards. These codes often dictate approved methods for conduit installation and connection, and they typically do not recognize threading as an acceptable practice for RNC. The National Electrical Code addresses the installation of electrical systems and components, with specific articles dedicated to different types of raceways, including rigid nonmetallic conduit. These articles outline acceptable practices and prohibit methods that compromise the safety and integrity of the electrical system. While it is true that the National Electrical Code might not explicitly forbid threading RNC with the same directness as it does for electrical metallic tubing in Article 358.28, the overarching principles of electrical safety and the implicit requirements for maintaining the integrity of listed and labeled equipment make it clear that threading RNC is not permissible. The absence of explicit prohibition does not equate to permission. The code relies on the installer to exercise sound judgment and adhere to recognized industry practices. When a specific method of installation is not explicitly addressed, it is incumbent upon the installer to ensure that the chosen method does not compromise the safety or performance of the electrical system. The Underwriters Laboratories, known as UL, is a globally recognized safety organization that develops standards and tests products for safety and performance. UL 6 specifically addresses rigid nonmetallic conduit. This standard outlines the requirements for RNC, including its physical properties, performance characteristics, and methods of installation. UL 6 does not recognize threading as an acceptable method for joining or terminating RNC. This is a critical point, as compliance with UL standards is often a requirement for electrical installations. Installing RNC in a manner that deviates from UL 6 can void the product's listing and create potential liability issues. Therefore, the absence of explicit permission in the National Electrical Code, coupled with the lack of recognition in UL 6 and the inherent compromises to the conduit's integrity, leads to the conclusion that threading RNC is not an acceptable practice. It is essential to adhere to approved methods of installation and connection to ensure the safety and reliability of electrical systems. If there are any uncertainties regarding the proper installation of RNC, it is recommended to consult with a qualified electrical inspector or engineer. The authority having jurisdiction, the OJ, plays a crucial role in enforcing electrical codes and ensuring compliance with safety standards. The AHJ is typically a local or regional government agency responsible for inspecting electrical installations and verifying that they meet the requirements of the National Electrical Code and other applicable regulations. When encountering situations where an electrical contractor is employing questionable practices, such as threading RNC, it is essential to bring the matter to the attention of the AHJ. The AHJ has the authority to investigate the installation, assess its compliance with the code, and take corrective action if necessary. This may involve issuing warnings, requiring modifications, or even imposing penalties. In the specific scenario of a contractor threading 2-inch Schedule 40 RNC on service entrances, it is imperative to contact the AHJ and provide them with detailed information about the installation. This information should include the location of the installation, the name of the contractor, and any other relevant details. Photographic evidence of the threaded RNC can be particularly helpful in illustrating the non-compliant practice. By reporting the issue to the AHJ, one can help ensure that the installation is brought into compliance with the code and that potential safety hazards are addressed. This is an important step in protecting the public and maintaining the integrity of the electrical system. Service entrances are a critical part of the electrical system, as they provide the connection between the utility grid and the building's electrical panel. The service entrance must be installed in accordance with the National Electrical Code to ensure that it can safely handle the electrical load and withstand environmental factors. Threading RNC on a service entrance compromises the conduit's integrity and can create a pathway for moisture to enter the system. This can lead to corrosion, electrical faults, and even fire hazards. Therefore, it is essential to ensure that service entrances are installed correctly and that all components are properly connected and sealed. The integrity of the RNC is paramount, and any deviation from approved installation methods can have serious consequences. In addition to contacting the AHJ, it may also be beneficial to contact the RNC manufacturer and inform them of the non-compliant practice. The manufacturer may be able to provide additional information or guidance on the proper installation of their product. They may also be interested in investigating the matter to ensure that their product is being used in accordance with their instructions. Open communication with the manufacturer and the AHJ can help ensure that electrical installations are performed safely and in compliance with the code. The National Electrical Code is a comprehensive set of standards that covers a wide range of electrical topics. It is updated every 3 years to reflect changes in technology and industry best practices. Staying up to date with the latest edition of the National Electrical Code is essential for anyone involved in electrical work. This includes electricians, contractors, inspectors, and engineers. The National Electrical Code provides detailed requirements for the installation of electrical systems and equipment, covering everything from wiring methods to grounding and bonding. It is a valuable resource for ensuring the safety and reliability of electrical installations. In addition to the National Electrical Code, there are other relevant standards and regulations that may apply to electrical installations. These include state and local codes, as well as industry standards developed by organizations such as the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. It is important to be familiar with all of the applicable codes and standards to ensure that electrical installations are performed in compliance with all requirements. Proper planning and execution are essential for ensuring the safety and reliability of electrical systems. This includes selecting the appropriate materials and equipment, following approved installation methods, and conducting thorough inspections. By taking these steps, you can help ensure that electrical installations are performed safely and in compliance with all applicable codes and standards. In conclusion, threading RNC is not an acceptable practice. It compromises the conduit's integrity, violates manufacturer instructions, and may violate the National Electrical Code. If you encounter situations where RNC is being threaded, it is essential to contact the AHJ and report the non-compliant practice. By working together, we can help ensure the safety and reliability of electrical systems. Remember to always prioritize safety and adhere to approved installation methods. When in doubt, consult with a qualified electrical inspector or engineer. They can provide guidance on the proper installation of electrical systems and equipment, ensuring that all work is performed in compliance with applicable codes and standards.